if that gas had gone down, it would have really crippled him in ways I can't even begin to tell you. So there is the Citadel of Doom. Once we see some speed lots on the part of Anytime, he will just be able to rip through even the most fortified of tank lines. Looks as if we've got a new armory going up on the part of FireBatHero. I think maybe there is actually a possibility that rather than going for the gas, Anytime might have some specifically air-based theories in mind, although as you see there, the forge was its little turning wheel was spinning round, so maybe he's trying to just keep his opponent from teching up. I think that would be really interesting, that rather than going necessarily for economic based damage, going for tech level damage, so that he can use the relatively, well, not relatively actually, the hugely expensive Protoss upgrades. Oh, but now actually right in, so Goliath take down that shuttle there. Reaver gets dropped, I believe, but then goes down just as it lands. But we have some serious sieging there right by this expansion of Anytime, so it could really go down. It could actually go down in the very near future. But it looks as if now we have a counter-attack. There's a good force of Dragoons pushing in, and look, he is. I don't know if he's just going for it because it's in the area, but I think he might actually be specifically targeting that armory. I think he is trying to either stop Goliath's going for out so he can switch to air tech, or he's trying to damage his opponent's upgrades, which I think would be severely clever. Now, quite rightly, the Dragoons are attacking the SCVs rather than attacking the armory, as it's just going to be perpetually repaired, and so many SCVs going down now. This force of Dragoons needs to be stopped. It's no good just planting some mines with those vultures. You need to get in there, FireBatHero. You need to get in there right now and stop this, because you are losing all of your workers. Your gas might also be about to go down, which will just be terrible for you. And it does. The gas does go down. Anytime takes the gas, he's probably just going to abandon this force of Dragoons now, quite rightly, and just let them hopefully take down as many things as they can, taken down by the mines. But oh dear very much. Not only has he lost one of his armories, he's also lost the gas. And now we see quite a good force of zealots. Nice little pylon wall there, and yes, we see a lot more gateways going up on the part of Anytime, and they are actually speed lots now. Those couple I just saw creeping out of the gateways are definitely speed lots. So we will have lots of the blades of Ire coming in, romping the living hell out of any tank lines. Obviously there are a lot of mines, there are a lot of tanks, but I don't think this is going to happen. And here is where you can see why FireBatHero doesn't do as well against Protoss, because he's just sat there. He's just sat there, turtling up, letting his opponent take control of this. You know, he doesn't have that drive and that push that he does against his other races, because obviously he's got wonderful medic marine micro, which comes in usefully handy against Zerg, and he finds very good ways to use his vultures in ways that aren't usually used, and have them support his siege tanks as well, which is hugely advantageous in Terran versus Terran. However, in Terran versus Protoss, he just seems to, I wouldn't necessarily say turtle up as such, but he seems to just stagnate. I mean, very wise they're going for the proxy missile turrets in a forward position. I think that's always great play on the part of the Terrans. I think it always works out well. I think it's always a really strong tactic. You've got detection, you've got anti-air, and it just sort of, it's almost like planting a flag saying, this land is ours, this land belongs to the human empire, the Terran Dominion. So another drop coming in, actually, few vultures in the area that will be able to see it. Maybe as well he was just trying to see if that expansion had come up. Unfortunately, lots of Goliaths in the area. I didn't see if the shuttle went down, and unfortunately the Reaver is unable to get off a single shot before being taken down. That will have hurt Anytime quite a fair bit. Yet another shuttle coming in, but just being attacked from all directions and dies. But in the meantime, loads of zealots coming in, doing mine drags, taking down the tanks, getting right up in their faces so they are hurt by their own splash damage. And quite rightly, the Zoom of Doom, that's right people, the Zoom of Doom is on FireBatHero. Oh my god, how have I been casting for all this time and I've never thought of going Zoom of Doom. Anyway, so now we have the first science vessel out on the part of FireBatHero, which will provide some good detection, but more importantly, that critical EMP. So once Anytime starts getting out his spellcast units, they will just be completely romped on by the might of the science vessel. I'd have to say, people, I don't like to pick favourites, but the science vessel is by far my favourite spellcasting unit. FireBatHero now having to abandon this position, having to float up his thing, and now coming up in the other direction as well. Now attacking from both sides, sending a force of zealots. Command center goes down, but a force of zealots are attacking the other side as well. Loads of SCVs forced to retreat away, and the other command center is forced to retreat as well. So now there is only one base mining for FireBatHero. His economy is in serious trouble, bloods. Serious trouble, I tell you. Now anytime pulling back quite rightly, and there is the Arbiter Tribunal. There is the Arbiter Tribunal. We will see Arbiters, we will see recall, we will see status, and you should be worried, FireBatHero. You should be worried, because there is a Protoss might coming towards you. Another base being taken down on the part of Anytime, claiming another expansion, taking down another base. This is supreme Protoss play. He is managed to tech up, he's got the strong economy, now the tech units are going to come in. I'm thinking possibly that what he would want to do is, just because those Arbiters take so bloody long to produce, it would be very advantageous for him maybe to just crack out, say, 4 Corsairs just before he starts building the Arbiters, just maybe to try and snipe off the science vessels. Obviously they will be vulnerable to Goliath fire, but I just think having something there that's dedicated to taking down that science vessel will be very good, and at the very least it will force the science vessels to use defense matrix on each other, providing it's been researched, rather than EMPing the Arbiters. It just gives your opponent a little bit of an incentive to not do that EMP, or at least to put it lower down on your priority list. SCV's trying madly to run away, but it's just not happening for them. Having to float away his base again, and now the new Nexus has warped in. It is seen by that Vulture, but the Vulture is taken down by that cannon there. So we haven't had the Arbiters out. Dropship of his own FireBatHero. That's what we need to see, mate. That's what we need to see. Now, the reason why this is a Terran favoured map, because Terrans do not only perform well. Is this the first time I mention this anyway? Terrans do not only perform well against Protoss on this map, but Terrans also perform well against Zerg. So if anything is going to tip the favour in FireBatHero's way, it's this map, because there are so many places to lay down, and there are the 2 Arbiters, and there are so many places to lay down siege tanks, and there's so many little ridges and walls that will protect your forces. Few Vultures there will hopefully be able to deal with those Zealots. Yes, they do. Zealot goes down. The expansion is safe. However, it is not safe, my friends. It is not safe one bit, because there is a huge amount of gateways to reinforce with Zealots. There's 2 Stargates, which I can only presume are either pumping Corsairs or more likely more Arbiters, you know. It's never... Oh! SCV transfer coming in, just getting laid to waste by this wonderful little Dragoon force supported by Arbiters. Now setting up quite rightly quite a few missile turrets in the area, but because he has seen the Arbiters, he does know they're coming. And now this is wonderful play from Anytime. Anytime positions his Arbiter right over that water there, so that as the Zealots are running across the bridge, they were invisible. Thankfully, on the part of FireBatHero, a scan goes off with a wonderful siege tank placement there. So unfortunately the scan has gone off, and there are missile turrets in the area as well, and EMP goes off on the Arbiter. If he can get something in there and try and snipe that off, this could be really good for him. Unfortunately though, he just doesn't have any anti-air in the area, and slowly but surely his missile turrets are being picked off by these Zealots just romping in hell for glory. And then